All right, we want to take you now to L.A. That is L.A. Mayor Karen Bass. And she's talking about a major story there, the L.A. immigration protests and some of the violence there and the arrests there. So more demonstrations over immigration raids are expected today in Los Angeles. About 700 Marines were mobilized to help support National Guard members assigned to federal buildings in Los Angeles. Signs of weakened violence in LA remain there. Businesses were broken glass, looted shelves, and graffiti, all within the downtown area. And you've most likely seen a lot of these images here on WCNC Plus, also on social media. And one of the biggest news and controversies is California announced a lawsuit against President Donald Trump over federalization of the National Guard. Again, a big talker here. Let's take a listen in. It looks like Mayor Bass is taking questions right now. Let's take a listen into what she's saying.
He was here last week, and so I met with them directly. We did actually a panel with them, and we were talking then about how vast our city is and how if something happens in one area, it doesn't mean it's happening all around the city. So it's a little ironic we were having that conversation. I have not talked to them directly since then. Needless to say, my focus has been on keeping Angelenos safe and protected here.
And the second question, the curfew idea, obviously, that happened many years ago with the Rodney King situation, and it did calm things down. What would the parameters be? Would it be a localized, limited area type curfew? At least what you're thinking right now.
What I'm thinking is yes, because there's no need for it to be anything other than that. It's just important to reiterate that what is happening is not happening. It's not even happening in the entire downtown area. So there would be no need for a citywide curfew. But again, this is just preliminary discussions. It's one thing to say a curfew, then you have to enforce it.
Mayor Bass, what message do you give to businesses in these impacted areas, just on what steps you're going to take to help them, still keep their doors open and not have to worry about the graffiti or the looting?
Well, I wish I could say and not have to worry about, but we're coming together. I spoke to business leaders this morning saying that we need to come together, not just to talk, but come together with a plan on how we're going to repair the damage that has taken place and understand that it's going to take everybody. It's going to take the private sector, obviously the city. The city workers are already out there, and they've been out there for hours, and they've been out there for the last couple of days. But I know if you've driven around downtown, you know how massive this is. So the city workers are going to need assistance as well, but also, general citizens. I think everybody is concerned about downtown. I think people need to come from all different parts of the city to join us in repairing the damage that has taken place.
Mayor Bass, I wanted to ask you, what's your explanation of why this is happening in Los Angeles? I live in Miami. I've been all over the country. I haven't seen this in any other place. Why is it happening here? Many people think that Los Angeles is a pretty brave city to say things that others are ignoring. Why here? Why did it happen?
To be honest with you, I don't know, especially considering the relationship that was developing before this. The only thing I can think of, and that's why I keep going back to, I think we're an experiment. Because if you can do this to the nation's second largest city, maybe the administration is hoping that this will be a signal to everybody everywhere to fear them. That your federal government that historically has protected you can come in and take over.
Mayor Bass, we're going to go right here in the light.
Have you talked to President Trump?
No, but I'm going to put out a call to him today. I have been talking to. I want to tell him to stop the raids. I want to tell him that this is a city of immigrants. I want to tell him that if you want to devastate the economy of the city of Los Angeles, then attack the immigrant population. I want to tell him, don't you want the World Cup to be a success for you? Well, if that's what you want, give us help. Give us the $130 million that are being used for no reason, wasting taxpayers' money. Give us that money so that we can get prepared for the World Cup next year.
It sounds like have you been trying to reach them in the past week? It sounds like you were talking to the federal government on Friday and that kind of stopped. But
and the focus is elsewhere, but
No.
are they ignoring your call?
No. What I said is that I have not, period, reached out directly to President Trump. My conversations with people either in the administration or close to the administration have been continuing. I've not spoken to Mr. Holman again, but I think those conversations are still going on.
Mayor Bass, Mayor Bass, I know that you talked about getting business leaders to come together to clean up and help the downtown area, but some have talked to us about their concerns about just protecting their businesses.
Absolutely, yeah.
And some have even said, could we get even the National Guard to protect us? Your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, again, the National Guard's mission is to protect the federal building. That's why I said that we're in discussion as to whether or not there should be a curfew. All of those things will help their business.
Right here in the booth. Thank you very much. Mayor Bass, obviously you brought up Border Czar Tom Homan. He's always admonished sanctuary cities. I'm wondering if you feel as if Los Angeles is being targeted because it is a sanctuary city. And in that same vein, if you have a message for Boston, Denver, Chicago, who could experience the exact same thing you're going through right now here in the city.
Well, first of all, the state of California is a sanctuary state. So this could have happened basically to any of the cities. Now, cities, some have adopted the policy, but it is state policy. And so, yes, my concern with those cities that you named is look out. This could happen to you. And if I'm not mistaken, at least a couple of those cities, I think it's Denver and Boston, have already been hauled in to congressional hearings.
Final question today.
I know you said that your office is not being given a heads up about these raids. We were hearing reports yesterday that ICE went to Exposition Park yesterday and took some street vendors into custody. This is a public property. The city has a swimming pool there. Can either you or your staff tell us what you know about this? Is it in fact true? And if it is true, what cautions is the city taking to safeguard the public at Exposition Park or any other public facility?
Well, Dave, yes, we did know about it, like anything else, when it was occurring. We knew about it. Well, just what you said. I mean, the same information I have as well, that street vendors were arrested, that they went in and arrested or detained street vendors. But in terms of what the city can do to protect public properties, you know that we have no idea where they're going. We would not have the capacity to have LAPD at every public facility. And so I was in a room yesterday morning, meeting with the immigrant rights organizations, and all of a sudden everybody's cell phones started blowing up. That's when we all heard about a raid that was taking place in Whittier. So part of the uncertainty and the instability that this creates is that we don't know. It's kind of like whack-a-mole. So if the city hears of something, they will go to it, but there is no capacity that we could monitor all of the public facilities.
But just for our understanding, for example, if ICE shows up at the city side, the aquatic center, whatever, does the city ask them to produce a warrant? Do they ask if they have a warrant to go onto the property?
Well, we can ask that, but at the end of the day, it would be very difficult for city staff to tell armed ICE agents that they can't come in somewhere. Nick? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I'm going to call on you.
Right now, sorry. I was going to say, the federal military is now confined. What would be the implications if they step beyond the federal building protection? And what would you tell those troops to think about before they took an order, or if they were ordered to do something like that?
Well, I don't think I'm going to tell them. What I would tell them is go back and guard the building. That's what I would tell them. But obviously, I have no authority over federal troops.
But what would be the implications for the city if?
Well, the implication, it depends on what they would do. Again, there's nothing happening. So if they wanted to just march up and down the street, then that's one thing. But there's nothing going on right now. And when there is something going on, our law enforcement has the capacity to address it. Yes, wrap us up.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the Australian journalist who was shot earlier this week to the rubber bullet. The Australian Prime Minister has spoken with the Trump administration about the incident, but I wanted to know, how do you feel about foreign media workers being hit like this, like this on the streets of Washington?
Well, I mean, I think it's terrible. I think it sends a terrible message. As you said, the Prime Minister of the country had to respond. The President of Mexico has responded. Again, I know, but maybe I don't, that these countries look at this, and I don't think they thought there was some grand thing happening here that required ICE agents to come and disrupt workplaces or chase people through Home Depot parking lots. Thank you very much, everyone.
You're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. A press conference just wrapped up with LA's Mayor Karen Bass. This comes as more demonstrations are expected over immigration raids today in Los Angeles. I want to reiterate, about 700 Marines were mobilized to help support National Guard members assigned to federal buildings in LA. We're going to keep an eye on that. We actually brought you a live look and live coverage of the protests there in LA during our stream yesterday evening. So I'm sure we'll have more coverage of that tonight if protests do occur there in LA.